I just gave out my first ever 1-star rating because when I hate a book that much, I just DNF. But this one I pushed through and it wins the award for my first ever 1-star rating because I fucking hate it and it was atrocious. And that is Games, a Love Story. If you want my full review going into expansive detail, click the link for my Goodreads and Fable review. I'm just gonna be going over the spark notes of why I hated this book. This is an age gap, politically opposite, morally opposite romance. And I had never wanted to slap a man character as much as I did our FMC Lily. Yeah, her character traits are emotionally immature, stunted, unregulated, makes no effort to go to therapy, mind you, into really unsafe BDSM, sobbing and crying anytime she feels any emotion slightly uncomfortable, and mind you, this happens most often during sex. Pushing people away due to her own childhood trauma that she recognizes but refuses, again, to do anything about. And most importantly, she's a radical left-wing democratic socialist, but also somehow a raging commie. But she's also a hypocrite because the second she meets her hot, rich, older millionaire boyfriend, who is the antithesis of everything she believes in, her morals go out the window. And we can't forget about our equally pretentious MMC Alexander, who escaped Russia when he was a teen and therefore uses that as an excuse to choke on the balls of capitalism and buys into that socialism has always failed ideology and has become a venture capitalist millionaire CEO and doesn't care about stomping on the boots of the average people to get where he wants to go. All he craves is power and control, and he gains that through his wealth. He seems to care about Lily, but yet anytime she basically asks him about, well, what about poor people? What about poverty? Because this book is filled with their spirited political debates. He literally said once, well, sink or swim. His ideas basically boil down to, not my problem. Fucking ick, dude. But of course, does any meaning coming out of these conversations? No. They always just agree to disagree so they can keep banging and not have to address their real ideological issues. Not to mention, if any of the characters are conceding their points, it's almost always Lily, and it really feels like this author kind of threw in her more pro-capitalist dogma into the narrative, which again, icky. And I can't say more about the plot without giving spoilers, but let me just say, Lily takes her emotional immaturity to the max, but comes crawling back on her hands and knees asking for forgiveness anyways, and Alexander gives it to her because he's obsessed with her, and the ending of this book is them just being like, I want to have kids with you so bad. It was insufferable, it was immature, it was icky, got nothing valuable out of this, and it seems like the author's message was, rich older men are hot, duh. Capitalism, good or not bad. And you need to overcome your trauma in order to have a healthy relationship. Also duh. This book feels like a clear attempt on wanting to say something, but communicating nothing. I know this is aggressive coming from me. I feel like I rarely tear down a book like this, but I hated it. Plain and simple, and I don't feel like I should be afraid to say it. It is a 1-star, a first ever for me, and that is that.